So we have a very interesting debate for discussion this morning. Where are the brand building examples on mobile? And as the anchor has just introduced you to the panel, we have two industry stalwarts over here. Vikas Gulati and Tushar Vyas. We couldn't have a better pair of debaters for a topic like this. Now, given that the India smartphone market is so big and mobile advertising in India is growing at such a rapid pace, it still continues to be a small percentage of the overall digital advertising spends. And to top that, again, most of the spends on mobile, around 75%, is on search. So what is really coming in the way of really leveraging mobile for brand building? What is coming in the way of integrating mobile into the entire consumer journey, from awareness to consideration to affinity to then lead generation and conversion? What is coming in the way of really using mobile for, as an extension of the traditional television channels and using it to supplement television GRPs? Why is mobile not being considered today actively as a CRM tool? Why is it that, we are so fussed on and so focused on app installs, but not really on app engagement and driving transactions on app? And finally, what is it that is coming in the way of really targeting, doing some sharp targeting on mobile, not just based on device-based targeting, but moving beyond that to really what matters to the consumer, to really drive relevance to the consumer in the form of psychographic profiling with relevant messaging. So these are some of the thoughts that really come to my mind as a marketer. We have two experts over here who will actually debate for the motion and against the motion. I'm sure a debate format is going to be a welcome change from the panel discussions that we all are so used to. And who better to have than these two industry veterans? We're going to let them have fun. And I'm going to take a back seat now. They're going to present their case for the motion, against the motion, and cross-examine each other. And we'll try to stick to time. Okay, so there you go, Vikas.
So good morning. Really glad to be here. I've got about like 6-7 minutes, not too many slides, so I'll quickly take you through. The idea is to talk about the state of mobile advertising industry as it stands today, and more importantly, where it's going in 2015 and even beyond. I think some of the points that I'm going to touch upon is not why mobile. There are a couple of slides just to set the context, but more importantly, how can brands really leverage the power of this exciting media. I think Raghav touched upon it this morning, but really I wanted to establish the fact that today, mobile is the first screen of choice for consumers. If you look at all screens, there are three predominant screens that consumers consume today. There is TV, there is desktop, and there is mobile. And by far, if you look at any market in the world, and more so for emerging markets, and markets like India, Indonesia, almost 50% of the time is getting spent on the mobile screen. If yesterday you were building your brands on TV, it's time to start building your brands on mobile, because that's where your consumers are, eyeballs are there. More importantly, when you look at the time spent and you dig deeper, scratch the surface, all the time that consumers are spending today is on apps. I come from Opera. We're known for our browsers, but browser is also an app, and we exactly know what consumers are doing on their devices itself. 88% of the time is getting spent on apps and not on mobile web. There is a certain amount of misconception that exists that it's only the gaming category or a certain set of content consumption that happen out there. But if you dig deeper into it, it's across all genres of content that you think about. So it's not only games, it's news, it's finance, it's sports, it's entertainment. Every single thing is happening on apps today. Sorry, just moved a little earlier. And spends are happening. It's a little slower in Asia as such, and we'll talk about that in the subsequent slides. Last year as an industry, we did about $30 billion. This year, we're going to do about 50. By 2017, we're going to do $80 billion. And now you think about this from a context of that this is exactly about 4 to 5 years old as an industry itself. It's growing 5 times faster than the entire digital or the desktop internet space that you think about as a space. But the fact is brands are still not convinced. They're a little slow, they're not coming on board, and I'm going to touch upon 3 important points, what makes this media so powerful and why brands should be actually looking at it. The first one is about the audiences. I think a lot of questions this morning that I saw was coming about targeting. We're talking about audiences, and my case is very simple. That mobile today, if you think about it, of all the media that you've got out here, it offers far more richer targeting capabilities than any other screen or any other device that you could think about. At the base level itself, all the content that is getting consumed, and I established earlier that apps are pretty much the gateway to mobile internet. If you think about what consumers are doing on their apps, the sessions they're having, more importantly, what they're consuming, when they're consuming, where they're consuming. If you start patching all that data together, you start layering that information with what people do even on their browser or on their sites itself, you start to get a very good understanding of the audiences and the profile itself. But then there are a lot of other variables that you can start mixing it, which makes it even more powerful. And one of the most important things about mobile is proximity. The proximity part of mobile devices makes it really, really powerful. Proximity is power. So if you think about where consumers are going, the points of interest that they're visiting, if you start layering that with their audience information on what the content they're consuming, it becomes extremely, extremely important for brands. Then you've got data which can come from various publishers, right? Meaning a lot of publishers are capturing information about their demographic, their interest, social activities, and all that thing can be put together. The trick in all this space is not about having all these individual components or layers of data in different pieces and different silos. It's being able to put that together into a proper data management platform and start doing real-time targeting, the real-time targeting as we call it. And there's one device that can do it or one media that can do it, it's actually mobile. And here is the case. So when you think about audiences today, I've got a consumer who could be as deeply identified as Meera, who's a Vodafone customer. She uses Vodafone network, lives in Mumbai. She's a heavy credit card user, very frequent traveler. She shops on Flipkart, plays Candy Crush, has apps on her devices like TripAdvisor, Waze. She prefers to travel by Singapore Airlines, and she was there at the airport last week. That's power. That's mobile. The second point that I want to talk about is about consumer experience and engagement. And I think a lot has been said about the size of the screen. What can you possibly do on that screen? And I think as an industry, we've really evolved. 4 years, if you think about where we were and where we are now, and I think Raghav talked about native this morning, and I think there's tons of research being done in Asia on the native formats itself, and Facebook has kind of shown the way. So we've evolved from simple standard banners, which takes about 5 to 10% of the real estate. People are not sure what kind of messaging can go into it, whether people are genuinely clicking on it, or is it an accidental click. So obviously those concerns were restrictive. We evolved to a thing of... We evolved to a thing of full screen interstitials. We got to the stage of rich media interactions, but today we are living in a world of native. And the fact is, native drives significant higher metrics in terms of performance, whether you look at from CTRs, but more importantly from an engagement standpoint. Some examples where various publishers are now driving towards, this is an example come from Opera, which is our company, but fundamentally if you think about it, what a Facebook or a Twitter does, or what happens on LinkedIn, or what happens on any other platform, that's the way to go. Mobile advertising is far less intrusive, far more engaging and experiential as moving forward. The third point that I want to talk about is impact. And really, the pitch is very, very simple. Brands love TV advertising. They've built brands over the last many, many years purely on TV. Today, you've got a device which is perfectly capable of delivering the same sight, sound, and motion experience on your mobile devices. We're talking about building or creating TV-like experiencing on your devices itself. I'm just going to give you a quick case study view on this one.
Speed, we discover it. Risk it, the quicker, the gutsier. Reebok Z-Jet to blast you forward. Are you following? If not, catch up. Reebok Z-Jet, speed under pressure.
Can't keep up with my rhythm though. They keep trying to quick pull the lines they throw. I walk to the sound of my own drum. It goes, they go, we go. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, here we go. Feel it in my soul. Really need it so good. Gotta beat it. Honey takes control. Really need it, need it.
Right. Yeah. So mobile video is exploding. I think we all know the trend behind it, but the fact is today the user experience on mobile is getting so much better, so much richer. Today you've got technology which is able to play instant play videos, without buffering, without streaming onto your mobile devices. Yeah, so I guess the 3 points that I'm leaving behind and why I think mobile is really, really critical, the targeting piece, the kind of formats that are evolving, and the mobile video. That makes us absolutely awesome as a medium. Yeah. Thank you.
Very interesting and important points made there. Know your customer, that really is at the fundamental root of everything that we do in marketing. Engage them with interesting and creative formats, and finally maximize impact. Great, so we'll follow the classical debate format, and Tushar, over to you for some cross-examination of Vikas and then arguing your case against.
Yeah, so thanks Vikas for sort of laying down foundation in terms of why mobile. But however, the question always remains is not why mobile, right? If you go to any of the, even in fact somebody mentioned about conference and stuff like that, people keep talking about mobile. And when you meet client also, question is never why mobile. Everybody agrees in principle there has to be mobile, but the behavior doesn't change. So I think what we need to focus is what going to trigger from why mobile to things like how much of mobile, what to do next. I think the next leap of faith which is not happening, and that's a problem right now industry is facing. So everybody agrees mobile is a big medium, it's the largest medium, there is endless opportunity, but final leap of faith which is not happening, and that's the crux of problem which as an industry we are facing right now. So I think you laid a foundation in terms of why mobile, but what's your view in terms of what next?
Sure. So actually, sorry, is this working? Yeah. So, part of the presentation, I think why mobile part is sorted. The consumer story is, fascinating. Everybody understands that consumers are on mobile, they're engaged, they're consuming all the content. I think some of the things that I was trying to highlight through my presentation was that the fact that you've got so much of power in understanding of your consumers through mobile, the content they're consuming, the apps that they have on their devices, the places they visit, all that feeds into creating a very, very powerful audience pool, okay? I think my understanding is brand loves to buy audiences, and there is no better way to build audiences than mobile at this stage. And I think for the first time in many, many years now, the technology has actually come together to give you the right formats. I think you're absolutely right. The question is about the leap of faith. From a consumer story standpoint, from a technology standpoint, I think we are pretty much all there. Now it's for the brands to kind of come in and make that. And I think that's where I would want to look for, people like you yourself to see.
Yeah, but when you talk about somewhere, you spoke about native, and basically, as an industry, aren't we jumping into format earlier than what is required?
No, native is mainstream. There was a survey done last quarter by eMarketer across global marketeers. 70% of the marketeers are going to be advertising on mobile only via native. So native, when you think about whatever you do on your Facebook or Twitter or some of any large platform, even Opera, everything is driven by native formats itself. So it's a question of, I think Milind was pointing this out earlier this morning, and it's a question of just lack of education and awareness. It's the part about evangelizing to the brands that there are options which are available, which are not as intrusive, not as disruptive, and options are all there.
I guess somewhere, thanks for leading into that, and I think that's the precisely problem which we are facing right now.
Tushar, let's hear from you now on where are the, against the motion, where are the brand building examples? Can we have Tushar's presentation on?
Yeah, so I guess I'm going to do two things first time in life. So one is participating in debate. Second thing is speaking against mobile. Let me start, and I'm not going to talk against mobile, but I'm going to highlight some of the things which are not right currently in the ecosystem. And as an industry, we need to start fixing some of these things, right? So can I have a next slide, please? Yeah. Yeah, so if you look at today, there is everything possibly a medium can have mobile is today, right? So there is a more connected Indians than the urban audience in the country. India is the second largest sort of connected base of a country, and mobile plays a largest role into that. Connected Indian is bigger than US population. Not only we are talking about connected US citizens, but as a country, connected Indians are as big as US size. And if you look at connected Indians, a 10x English news readership. So that's the size which we are talking about. So all English newspaper readership multiplied by 10, and that's the size currently we are talking about. If you look at also English-speaking, English understanding, that audience size is bigger than the connected Indians. So again, we are reaching a stage we have covered sort of more than 200 million people in the countries. But anybody can guess what's the number? If you look at media mix right now, it's not even 2%. So if you look at the earlier 5 slides and connect this 2%, there is something missing right now. And I think we need to focus why it is still 2%, why we are stuck at 2% as an industry. And I'm going to spend next 5 minutes in highlighting 8 points. So if you look at mobile, it's not a medium, but it's an ecosystem. And historically, if you look at most of the advertiser, the way they have been sort of used to think, and there is a huge amount of empirical data to support that. When the print, it's an image. When the TV, it's a video. Then when it's a radio, it's audio, right? So there is a very, very linear way of thinking. But when you think about mobile, the opportunities are endless. There's a text possibility, there's a video possibility, audio possibility. And as an industry, we go and throw an option to them. And typically, the conversation happens between advertiser and a mobile seller or agency is like between Mars and Venus, right? So they will go and say, okay, give me mobile solution. Brand guys will say, okay, I'm looking for what's the impact on my brand? The guys will say, I'll go give you 10,000 clicks. So, oh, okay, but what will it do to my brand? Okay, you don't want to click, I'll give you CPD deals. But I don't have application. But I'll make an application and I'll help you install also. So I think those kind of conversation which is happening while brand is interested in knowing what is going to happen to my brand, what is going to happen to my consumer. Well, as an industry, we are stuck on to some of the ABCD, which may not be relevant or look like a Greek and Latin to many of the large part of advertiser even today. Second question, which is they have been asking is, how do I measure ROI? And what's the outcome? As an industry, we are stuck on to output-driven metrics. We talk about clicks, we talk about downloads, we talk about installs, but we never talk about what's going to happen to my brand, what is going to happen to my awareness, engagement, affinities. I think those are the metrics large part of advertiser understand. Of course, there are commerce guy which will be interested in the downloads and install and stuff like that, but there are 70% of money which is sitting, which is still brand driven, and we need to start unlocking those money if you need to have a real growth in the industry. Very, very short-term approach. We keep changing currency, and we keep going to a low-hanging fruits. Again, I'm going back to the way industry moving, basically CPC to CPI. And then also there are frequent governance issues also you come across in the industry. So we need to set certain hygiene in a place. We need to set some industry standard, develop common currency, and develop some standard which is uniform in nature. As an industry, we are also, I think, very, very format driven. So basically, we come and say, we'll give you swipe, we'll give you page takeover, we'll give you banner which expands. So most often than not, interruption is not innovation. We are in a mode where we, what used to be even Web 1.0 kind of format, we are still not learning from those era and then trying to repeat some of the format, some of the mistake which we've done in the Web 1.0 in the mobile era also today. So I think what brands are looking at very, very fundamental innovation, very strategic innovation, what it does to brand, not the format innovation. So our approach to innovation is very, very tactical in nature, not fundamental in nature. Next question, who is going to invest in our content? Currently, it's industry survive on the borrowed content. We borrow content from print, we borrow content from TV, and of course, there are crowdsource option, but there need to be serious investment in content if that ecosystem need to grow. The TV is a TV because there's a KBC happens, there's a Big Boss happens, there's a huge amount of investment happens, which creates consumer engagement, which creates, in a way, affinity to brand, right platform to brand to invest some kind of money. But when we look at mobile ecosystem, it completely thrives on a borrowed ecosystem. There's lack of original content. And as an industry or as a platform owners, we need to start thinking about how are we going to sort of work around this problem. Next piece is basically readiness of language. So mobile is not going to be limited to English speaking audience, and we already overtaken that number. Right? If you look at a larger mobile base, we are talking about 900 million connections, 700 million plus connected people. Well, if you look at country, there are not more than 200 people even understand the basic English. Forget reading the newspaper. And if you look at English newspaper reading, it's 35, 40 million. So we are going to talk to audience which is language content, and we don't have formats ready. We don't. Many of the handset don't support languages.
2 minutes to go.
So I think there is a huge amount of work need to be done in terms of transitioning more text-driven environment to more visual-driven environment, more video-driven environment. So there's a huge work sitting there. We are talking to very fecal audience, attention-deficient audience. So basically, we are talking to generation now when we talk about sort of mobile as a format. And one of the largest format in mobile today is in-stream format, right? While we are sitting in next half an hour, there must be like a 20 notification in your sort of tray. So that kind of information is flowing. There's always moving, be it a Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube. There's a stream of data which is moving, and your brand is competing with maybe 20 selfies, 10 updates from Kareena Kapoor or whatever. So I think that clutter environment, you need to attract attention, and this is going to be key challenge. So there's a investment and thinking need to go in terms of right content for the brand. Again, something which is missing today. And last piece is basically infrastructure issue. We have been sort of forever waiting for 4G to come. I think it's a completely sort of supply-starved market. There is enough demand, but there is not enough supply right now. In terms of quality of consumption, especially when you look at video, is not great. Though there is a good amount of consumption happening, but the UX is not good. The second piece is, and I think somebody touched upon in earlier session, more than 70% of brands don't have a mobile-ready site, and that is also part of infrastructure. So either they don't have responsive site, or no application or no presence. Basically, they have got a basic website which doesn't render well in a mobile environment. So there's a huge gap there. And last unfortunate piece is basically India as a market, in spite of being a very, very good tech savviness, but when it comes to ad tech, very poor adoption. So we are not good at sort of using ad tech to our advantage and driving this ecosystem. So I rest my case here. Basically, things are good, numbers are good, but the ecosystem is not sort of evolved enough to sort of address this opportunity.
Very interesting and informative. Two big themes really that I picked up. One is two big themes and challenges really. One is almost a malaise in the kind of approach today, which is really very transactional.
Yeah.
It's problem solution based rather than looking at the potential of mobile in its entirety and trying to exploit or leverage that. And the second is really about the ecosystem and the infrastructure and what are the options that it's providing, with of course the the whole readiness of the format in terms of only English language and not
Yeah.
and not the regional languages, which is where India really lies.
Yeah, with this kind of size, scale, and opportunity, it doesn't deserve 2%, right? But still, we are stuck at
Yeah.
2%.
Very interesting. So, Vikas, over to you. What we'll do is we will follow the classical debate format. So now
Right.
is your opportunity to cross-examine Tushar and then come with your rebuttal of points to counter Tushar's argument.
Sure.
So you have 3 minutes for the cross-examination and then 4 minutes for the rebuttal.
Superb. Thanks, Ronita. So, Tushar, interesting presentation, and I agree with some of the points out there. But my first question on this one is, as like with any other industry, whether it's, any other media, any other technology, there are always early adopters. So obviously, yes, you are absolutely right. A lot of advertising today on mobile is driven by a response, the download guys and all. But if you think about it, there are a whole bunch of businesses which are absolutely getting built on mobile, right? There are tons of companies out here who are doing, great amount of business. They build a brand completely onto their mobile outside. Globally, there are many examples. In India itself, when I look at the e-commerce category out here, they are completely building their businesses on mobile devices. My question there is, if there are companies who can actually do that, okay, and they can go out and build entirely then 60–70% of the businesses coming out of mobile, what's stopping brands really? I understand there are certain amount of limitation that exists, but at the same time, there are classical success stories that you can see coming out of India itself. I mean, globally, obviously, there are huge examples out there, but within India itself, so what's stopping the Unilevers, the Proctors, all the big brands coming onto mobile?
Yeah, I think what industry is seeking is sort of hand-holding, benchmarking, some data points to support that. For example, if you look at TV, there's empirical evidences of maybe last 2 decades, right? Or print, there is empirical evidence. So when I do a 3 release in Times of India, this is what will happen. When I do a 1,000 GRP plan, this is what will happen. My awareness will move by 5 points. My sales will move by 3 points. So there is a huge amount of comfort which has been built, and we have to pull out of comfort zone as an industry, right? So if you have to go to Mondelez or if you have to go to P&G and say, move your 30% of TV budget, you need to have a compelling reason, you need to have a sort of enough data point to handhold, pull them out of comfort zone and make them commit, right? So that's where I think somewhere industry is faltering. And what we go and talk about matrices, which of course not their comfort level right now.
Even we're talking about GRPs, but brands have been buying GRPs, saliencies, share of voice for a very, very long time. But the fact today is that the consumers have shifted their viewing on to a different screen altogether. Now, if the brands were being built earlier on TV with those GRPs and those saliencies now actually moving towards mobile, shouldn't you be buying those GRPs? I don't know what metrics you're going to do, but are you saying GRP as a metric is what is holding you back on getting onto the media?
So because precisely that's the problem, right? So we are not able to talk the language. It's becoming Mars and Venus, right? What they are asking many times is a simple question, but what we go is a very complicated answer.
So should I understand that brands don't understand how to measure response? Because
So
my
basically-
understanding is mobile is perfectly trackable.
Yeah, so
You
what
can-
they are
you can
asking,
do-
what industry is asking, and when I say industry, large part of brand advertising is asking is basically metrics which is consumer driven, metrics which is the brand parameter driven, right? So they are not asking for how many clicks you deliver, how many whatever download you deliver, is something which is very, very transactional metrics.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Vikas, with those provocative questions, quite honestly, when I'm tempted to jump in.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
But
Please
I
do.
should refrain myself right now.
No, please go ahead if you have a question. Are you speaking for me or against me?
Against.
Yeah.
So now's your turn.
So, see, Tushar, my point of view there is mobile, like any other digital media, is perfectly trackable. My understanding is brands have not been evolved enough to understand how do they want to measure the outcomes of their campaigns. Many times you are still thinking about GRPs, share of voice. I think mobile as a media goes far beyond that. Mobile doesn't stop at impressions or clicks. You get the user onto any site or any app, you can measure any kind of post-click metric. There are engagement rates, there are completion rates on video. You can even go out and do exactly the same research methodology on top of mind awareness, brand awareness, message recall in an offline world. You can just need to do the same process itself. I think the challenge that the industry is facing is that there is just not enough dollars for even for agencies or clients to put monies behind those research. We've been having chats with Comscore, Nielsen's of the world, and they are perfectly ready. They want to get onto that medium, but brands are just not putting. So it's a problem created by brands for themselves. I do recognize, because when I get into meetings with various clients, they are absolutely eager and impatient to get onto the mobile. But there is, at some stage, I agree with the point about that they've been slow on not having the right assets, not building the right apps, sites to be able to engage the consumers effectively. I think that's a fairly valid point. But I would tend to say agencies have a very strong role in that piece. Because you guys are custodians of the brands, you're managing their budgets. At some stage, brands need to come up to speed. The fact is the market is all ready. We got to just figure out what those right metrics are from a brand standpoint, sit down into the room and align on how do you want to deal with this, because it's a reality.
Yeah, I think as you said, like consumer has moved on, right? Consumer has moved on and is pretty much spending huge amount of sort of screen time on mobile. But I think as an industry, our responsibility to accelerate process. If we wait, I'm sure eventually brands will move that, but how do we accelerate? I think that's a larger problem. And I think slightly, I spent like almost like 15 years in the industry, but slightly disturbing part is what mistake we made in the early days of internet. We are repeating some of the mistakes again. Be it in terms of metrics, be it in terms of way we are selling, be it in terms of how we are treating sort of content and creative part, right? And in fact, I remember the early days of internet used to be, you get a print ad and hoarding it and say, adopt it for the banner.
Right.
And I'm sure similarly what we are doing is we are taking web banner and shrinking for the mobile screen. All these are, of course, not a right thing to do. And knowingly, unknowingly, all of us are part of this ecosystem and doing it, right? So I think somewhere we need to step back and look at differently and say, how do we need to change the things?
Yeah, I do agree there is a bit of a learning curve. It's not a smooth ride because, there are many times players would come up with formats which is, not necessarily the best from a user experience standpoint. But then if you think about that.
Yeah, so idea is collectively how do we accelerate process, do less of wrong things and move on and then sort of take a step jump.
Right.
Right now, what we are doing is we are moving very linear fashion, and I'm sure it will keep moving at that pace. But if you need to take a step jump, then we need to make few fundamental changes.
Right. So some closing remarks first from Vikas, and then we want to talk some closing remarks.
Sure. I guess we both agree on on the same points. Broadly, I think we understand the mobile remains a massive opportunity. It's an opportunity that brands cannot afford to miss. I do realize that there are certain things that have not been aligned from industry standpoints, things like metrics. How do you want to measure mobile? What role does it play from a brand standpoint? Those are the things that we need to probably sit down with agencies and clients to figure out. But I think from a platform perspective, from a media perspective, from a content perspective, from a technology perspective, the media is all ready, it's all set up. You've got best-in-class capabilities which are available today. There is no reason what happens in US today cannot be deployed in India. Milind was making this point this morning to Raghav, that from a tech perspective, you can actually do that in a day's time. And if you think about where the industry is leaning towards now, in terms of the user experience, in terms of creating the right impact, in terms of engaging the consumers, we have a very healthy balance of where it should be. And I think it's a very fast evolution. Native is only a step in making that experience better. Videos is a step in making sure that consumers are getting the right kind of content in an impactful way. I think we're making tremendous progress. That's how I would kind of close my remarks on.
Okay. So one question for you, Vikas. If the opportunities on mobile are so vast, and if it is such an effective medium, then what is the reason for the curve, the curve for the uptake to be so slow? While yes, there is a certain lack of awareness of the potential on the part of the marketers.
Right.
But as a system, why is it that collectively as an industry, we are not able to leverage mobile further?
Okay, Ronita, to put it into context, it's a 4-year, 5-year-old industry, okay, and we're beginning to start comparing it to TV, print, some of the metrics that Tushar was mentioning about, and those are, built over decades. And to put things into a different spin altogether, the other side is, in that 5 years, the kind of evolution, it's actually a revolution. If you think about how the advertising space has evolved from simple text-based, advertising to simple images to getting onto full screens and interstitials and then rich media, and now we're talking native. The change that is happening in the industry, I think it's overwhelming for brands to gather or on how do you really kind of do it. The third part, which Tushar actually talked about, is the metrics part of it. I think as an industry, we've not been able to align on what should be the metrics that you should be looking at. And I think it boils back to the role of mobile. When I look at TV as a media or when I look at print as a media, there's a very clear role that gets defined. TV is all about awareness. It's all about creating saliency. There's one role. With mobile, because it plays in the consumer journey across all stratas, it can be a reach media, it can be an awareness, it could be an engagement media, it could be used for CRM, it could be a product feature itself, you could be doing n number of things. I think brands tend to grapple with it on what they want to use it for, to be able to define the role of mobile very, very clearly in their marketing mix. So those are some of the things that kind of make it a bit of a, media which is
The time is
a
up.
little more challenging.
Okay. So quickly, closing remarks from Tushar. You.
Yeah, I think mobile has a huge amount of potential, and today, if you look at in Indian context, it's the largest possible medium, right? It's bigger than TV, bigger than print in terms of number. But we have made it very, very complex. So I think first thing is to recognize we need to simplify that, and we need to simplify for the marketing ecosystem to sort of make decisions faster, swifter, and then give some kind of comfort. So I think right now requirement is that decode that ecosystem, talk the language which marketing ecosystem understand, and then sort of try and get them on board as much as possible. So that's a good starting point according to me.
Yeah.
Right.
The dollars are coming in, it's growing 5 times faster. Remember that, because if you're not onto it, you're going to miss the bus and you run the risk of, losing your brand's engagement with your consumers.
Right. So clearly the opportunities are huge given the fact that the smartphone is really central to the lives of a lot of Indians today, and that's really growing. What we find is that there are businesses for whom mobile is their business model, where they have actually cracked the power of mobile and what it can do, and are leveraging the entire the entire funnel and the path to purchase on the mobile very, very effectively. There are others who are still rooted in the traditional forms of advertising and largely to do with the comfort of the traditional methods of advertising. And that is where the shift needs to happen, who are actually using mobile in a slightly fragmented and siloed way. So it's either, just those supplementary GRPs on mobile, on a YouTube, or it's just, some content integration with some YouTube star or whatever that is, or perhaps lead generation for certain categories which have a robust methodology, robust mechanism in place for lead generation. There are very few brands today who are actually leveraging the entire ecosystem. Now, clearly, we need to find a way as an industry to straddle and transcend that entire journey, given that digital today has come up of age in the country, and now it's really for mobile, given the kind of power it has, given the kind of potential it has, and given the kind of experience that it can offer for it to really come of age. Couple of, having come from, coming from the telecom industry, the one thing that we keep hearing from consumers when it comes to e-commerce is actually concern on security.
Right.
On transaction. It's all good for consuming content, lot of excitement there, but the minute it comes to transaction, concerns on security. So, any thoughts there?
It's exactly the same way the digital was built, meaning you think about it for a very, very long time. travel was the only category which was getting some transactions, but e-commerce on rest of the categories was taking a lot of time. It's always this initial inertia that happens, but we work with almost all the e-commerce companies in India right now, and the kind of numbers that I'm hearing in terms of transactions, it's growing massively for them. Meaning, a lot of companies are almost doing anywhere between 25 to 40% of their transactions coming out of mobile devices. They've seen a very, last week alone, I was in a meeting out there. Clients are telling us, most people choose to put things into their shopping carts onto their mobile devices, but then they go back onto the site on the desktop and they complete the transactions. So there is a certain amount of risk, aversion that consumers have at this point of time. But if you look at the trend itself, I have no doubt in next 12 to 24 months, mobile would be the single biggest driver of e-commerce category in India itself.
And Tushar, between the ecosystem not having enough options versus a lack of awareness on the part of marketers on how to leverage, where would you say the fault lines are stronger?
Okay, I guess somewhere in between. So I think awareness is there. So, and again, if I relate to 10 years back, how advertiser were reacting to a digital medium, I think there used to be a strong sale required to digital. Today, mobile has got pulled, right? So everybody wants to do something on mobile. But so there's a very little why question you get. Basically, everybody is open to do some kind of activity in mobile, but the question is more of what, how much, where to start. So I think those are the questions which is coming in terms of helping them navigating the ecosystem. That's right.
Okay, so we conclude there.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the audience, and then finally we'll go for our vote.
Hi, this is Samanvay from Pocket Math. My question to both of you, we have talked about where mobile is coming from, where it's going. We have talked about lack of matrices out there. We know that mobile cannot do this, mobile cannot do that, but there are still things that mobile can do. And my question is that are we already doing those things or not?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
You'll have to repeat
actually,
the question.
it was breaking up, or it was not very clear. If you could
It's
repeat.
echoing here, it's slightly.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to put it in one line, there are a couple of things that mobile can do and there are a couple of things that mobile cannot do. And we are already aware that there are certain matrices which do not exist, which allow us to refrain from going into mobile. But are we already utilizing things that mobile can still do? And are we really exploiting them to the maximum potential and getting ROIs out of it?
Okay. So can I start and then Vikas can? So I
Yep,
think as
sure.
a starting point, I think the possibilities are limitless. So I don't think there is a question of mobile can and can't, right? So as I think Ronita and Vikas also mentioned, basically mobile can straddle from communication to transaction, right? So that's the spectrum you are talking about. So opportunities are endless, and I think that's also part of confusion because you can do too many things. There's too many formats available and too many ways to execute that. So I think what is, again, I'm repeating myself, but what is required is just recommending right thing to do at a right time for right kind of consumer. So that's a mix which is right now missing.
To answer your question, I think there are certain categories which are far more evolved, or they're ahead of others because they started on early. So the mobile first categories, there are a lot of developers whose entire business is actually based on there. There are a lot of services which are based on out there. There are a whole lot of taxi services, for example, and things like that. So they are obviously ahead of the curve. The way they, they built their entire app experience itself, the utility value they offer, from the way they kind of get the users to engage with the brand. The entire chain is fairly well evolved. So there are obviously mobile first categories, and I'm just taking one category as an example. I also see there's a lot of traction in some of the other categories. I think telcos as a group has been a little more evolved, and that's simply because, again, their consumers are on mobile, it's their customers, and it's logical, it's a logical fit. I do see CPGs as a category, for example, learning from what they've seen on TV and what they've seen on things, they are a little more quicker to evolve. And we've seen start spends and some of those activities and really using the media in the way it should be. Capabilities like videos, capabilities like retargeting, audience profiling, audience buying. I think those are getting into the ecosystem very, very fast now.
Arjun from Jack in the Box. Thanks for the fascinating debate.
Sorry.
Can't hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Better.
now?
No, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Thank you. Thanks for the fascinating debate. I don't have questions for you. I just have a remark that I really wanted to make. I think the biggest barrier when it comes to advertising in mobile is that mobile is a very personal, it's a very intimate device, right? And I think that's what the brands and the advertisers have not been able to understand. See, when I'm in my living room and I'm watching television, right, I expect my programming to be interrupted by ads. That's my understanding, that's my expectation. The same goes for print. But the time I spend on my mobile device is so intimate, so personal to me that I do not want brands to then invade that sense of privacy and serve their ads. I think if brands and marketers and advertisers start to understand this complex nature of how users engage with mobile devices, I think they'll be in a better position to understand how to crack the advertising paradigm. To actually build on that, that's pretty much the reason why the e-commerce portals and the e-commerce companies have been able to, get people to accept mobile as as the primary device, because even shopping is a very, very personal, it's a very personal experience. I do not want the world to know what I've shopped before I've shopped it, right? It's all about going through, the options on offer and then making that very personal shopping decision. As far as you said that mobile is not a device and it's an ecosystem, I get where you're coming from, but I think by its very definition, mobile is, it's a medium. The reason that it transmits, the reason it allows you to receive and send messages and communicate with people makes it a medium. I can understand that they might not be mutually exclusive, but I mean, there is a case for it to be an ecosystem, but it's primarily a medium. As far as who's going to invest in content, I think you have many, many brands who are already investing in content. If you look at Coca-Cola with Open Happiness, if you look at Dove with their Real Beauty sketches, if you look at Red Bull, I mean, I think there is a case for Red Bull being, the brand when it comes to advertising, especially on mobile. And I think if you look at all of these three companies, I think the one single fact that comes out is that they rely heavily on video. And I think video as a content piece is extremely conducive to mobile, and I think that's going to be the tipping point when it comes to mobile advertising in the future. Thank you.
Right, thanks. And that was a point that was made by Vikas in any case at the start of the session. Okay, any other question?
Yep.
Yeah, the last question.
Okay, two more.
Okay, my name is Nitin Manjrekar. I would like to ask, tell something to Vikas. Vikas, when we talk about advertisements on mobile, why don't you speak about interactive advertisements on mobile? Because that's where it's going to be very engaging for people to, see an ad and act upon it. For example, when Raghav mentioned, earlier that how we went through the, curve up coming to mobile platform as a platform, we saw that I always quote this thing. When I see an ad on a television, my customer is around 200 miles away from me. But when I have a mobile and an ad playing there and I can interact with that ad, then I'm just a thought away from my customer, basically. So that's where interactive advertisement is going to play the whole scene in future. It's
Sorry,
just
can
not.
I just ask you a question, right?
Yep.
Have you never seen an interactive advertising on mobile?
I have seen. That's what I'm saying. What we need to say that let's look at interactive advertisements, just not advertisement on on a mobile platform.
The answer to that question is very simple. I think the first interactive advertising or the rich media, advertising, which engages consumers deeply in the communication itself, was done in 2009. 2009, Oprah invented that. We ran the first campaign on Wall Street Journal. Today we are sitting in 2015. I think every single campaign that today gets executed should have a response element, should have an interactive element to it, and if it's not happening, then I think brands really need to look at what their communication messaging is all about, because mobile is all about interaction. I don't see any reason why any campaign should go on mobile unless it has a different role altogether of not being interactive. So I agree with you 100%. Tushar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, the last question.
My question is both to Tushar and Vikas. Two core areas why mobile, in my view, may not be really growing, and I would like to have your views on it, is one is skill talent. We say we have a large pool of digital marketers, but I think genuinely skilled talent is missing. So what the industry needs to do about it and what can be done. And second is, there is whether we agree or not, on the brand marketer side, there is a subliminal fear of failure on this medium.
Right.
How can we oscillates that? Because unless someone says, let's say Ronita is a brand marketer in a large organization, unless she says and tells a brand guy saying, cut the cable, I will not do print, television, radio, outdoor, I only want to do digital or mobile, I don't think innovation in the market wouldn't spoon. So what can you guys do to try and make this happen in India?
Very valid points, Milind. So you're absolutely right, and I think the skill and the talent part of it is something which, again, as an industry, because it's a 5-year-old industry, there is certain amount of learning curve for everyone. Okay, I think ad tech companies or platform companies or ecosystem companies, whatever you want to call them, are playing their part. But given the kind of dollars that exist, there is only so much that can happen. And I do see some of the agencies taking a step ahead. So if you are, if you are a more evolved agency, a little more progress agencies, people are beginning to have dedicated mobile agencies within their, I've seen Havas doing that, I've seen Group M doing that, or WBP doing that. There are a couple of other agencies which are a little ahead of the curve, and when you start putting dedicated arms, to help brands, it by default attracts talent. If you try and mix talent into a broader fuse, it becomes a bit of a challenge. But I think the large scale adoption of mobile is only possible when digital stroke mobile folks are part of every single team within the agency group and even on the brand side. And I'm saying agency folks because a lot of work that we do is with the agency side, but I think it's equally applicable to the brand. So they need to infuse that talent into the company. The second point that you just talked about, and I think the risk aversion from brands. And we've had conversations with many brands about this issue, and there is, there's always this case of risk of failure, okay, and they don't want to kind of take that. And I think the way it's happening by default, I can go and say, take a risk, let's put $200,000, $1 million on the table, it won't happen. But I've seen brands now taking a little more risk at this stage. They're putting a little more dollars. It might be, slightly small at this stage. But if you think about, there are certain categories which are putting a lot more. And that is what is supporting even the agencies to put dedicated people onto their side. The only thing that I would kind of iterate here is, failure is, it's not loss of face. If you have failed in something, it actually helps you to learn, and it helps you to learn even faster. It helps you to grow. So brands should not be afraid of taking that risk in any form. And I think as agencies, that's what you need to be telling your clients as well. That's, I would say.
Just to add to what Vikas said, somewhere I believe it's not a skill issue. I think there is enough skill exists, but it's a more of orientation issue. And people need to get oriented to think in that fashion and come out of comfort zone. And I think somebody already spoke, so if you start thinking the consumer first and screen agnostic, mobile will come automatically. So there's no need to think mobile first, just think consumer first. Mobile will also automatically start coming on the top. So I think that orientation people need to develop and go through that transition.
Yeah.
And I think on the second point, we'll ask Vikas to give a cost per sales deal, cost per awareness point deal. So
I think very well said, Tushar. Consumer first and not really mobile first. Don't think platform. Think consumer first, and the solutions will come. But as a marketer, my response to that would be, dealing with agencies and people and different teams all the time, is you have a breed of people today who are digital natives, who are mobile natives, and they can think of any kind of solution on the digital platform. What they need to develop is the strategic thinking skill. And at the senior levels, you have people with strategic thinking skills who do not necessarily understand the application of a mobile or a digital solution to the strategic issues. And I think somewhere it's the convergence of the two that is required. So for the, so people on the marketing side or the senior guys understanding how digital can provide solutions to strategic issues, and people who are specialists on digital to really understand the strategic solutions. And I think that is what will create delight for brands. I think the other solution would also be trying pilots. Pilots show success stories. The turnaround time on digital is short. It's a great opportunity to keep piloting and then use that as an opportunity to scale up. I think that's what a lot of brands are doing today. All right, thank you so much. Hope you found this useful.